Hey, it's A Humble Collector here, and today's video we're going to take a look at the funeral mailer for Oswald Wassibauer. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. So, a bit of an unusual one. So this isn't really a death card per se, but it's still kind of classed in the same category. This would have been actually mailed out as an invitation to his funeral, and also, notification that he passed away to any distant family and friends. I would assume that at his actual funeral, they would have had normal death cards that would have passed out. This one, as you can see, was folded at one point for mailing, I'm guessing, because that's about the size of a normal envelope from the period. But going through here, far from home I had to die, far from you whom I loved, but I have gone to a village where there is no more pain. Bowed down by deepest pain, we give all relatives and acquaintances the sad news that our beloved husband and beloved unforgettable brother, uncle, and brother-in-law, Mr. Oswald Wassibauer, who was a tax officer, on July 27th, 1945, at the age of 44, he died peacefully in the Lord in Saint-Etienne as a war victim in a civilian hospital after a life of suffering. The Holy Requiem will be held on Friday, January 28th, 1946, in the Herstetten Castle Chapel. And somebody's actually crossed that out and updated it with a typewriter to Dienstag on January 29th at 7 a.m. So, kind of a neat detail there. And then moving to the very bottom here, this message was sent by Emmy Wassibauer, who was his wife, Julie Herzig, Aurelia Sogel, and Paula Rosier, his sisters, and then Franz Wassibauer, his brother. Now, unfortunately, as usually the case when we have a individual that died post-war, I couldn't find a casualty record for him, but Volksboon notes that he was born on August 5th, 1901, in Schirmschirch, and he was an Obergefreiter. So he was definitely in the military. Which also, we know because of the war victim note there. And he's buried in the Degnu Military Cemetery, Block 25, Row 11, Grave 387. Based off the information we have here, and given Oswald's age, it seems likely to me that he was probably captured, I would guess, late 44, early 45. He was at a POW camp in France when the war ended. And, following that, because of his condition, he was not able to return home and got transferred to the civilian hospital. Where he apparently died just a few months after the war in Europe ended. Some other interesting stuff that I've noted here. One, as I said earlier, the change of date for the funeral mass is really interesting because obviously they had these printed, and then at the last minute the mass time changed, so they had to get that corrected and sent back out. But also the fact that they note that he passed away after a life of suffering. So Oswald was born in 1901. We obviously don't know if he served in World War I, but he certainly would have been old enough to serve at the very tail end of that conflict. Him and his wife don't have any children listed on the card. They don't know that he was a father, so it seems that perhaps they never had children or, had children that had passed away, prior to Oswald's death. So obviously we can't read too much into that just because we don't have a lot of information, but it seems like Oswald had a hard life and unfortunately died after the war had ended when a lot of guys were actually getting ready to go back home. So yeah, unfortunately not a lot more information there, but still I think really interesting mailer and definitely a little different than what we normally look at on the channel. So overall, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment down below. Love hearing from you. Thank you all for watching. Happy collecting, and I'll see you all again very soon.